Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host Saeed. I do want to thank you for joining us tonight, Tuesday the 22nd of November 2022. I do apologize for not going live on Monday the 21st of November. It has been a hectic weekend for me. I got a little, how did I say it? A little fever, a little cold over the weekend. But nevertheless, I am here. I give God thanks for health and strength, no matter the situation. And you know, sometimes things happen to us that we need to sit down and check for ourselves what is really going on. You know what? Thank God I could say for health and strength. Thank God for the small mercies, for the blessings where I have reached thus far in life. For those of you who want to be members of Real Talk Credit Union, keep in mind we are offering up to 4% for a fixed deposit, 5 years and over. We are offering from 1.5 to 2% on your annual savings. Remember, viewers, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, you could even open an account for your children, whether they are 5 months, 6 months, 7 months, 1 year, 2 years. It doesn't matter. They have their birth paper. You are the parent, the grandparent. It's not a problem. Your kid could start saving only at Real Talk Credit Union. Information. We are at number 14 Carolina Savannah Road in Shoguners. They are on the Real Talk Group of Company compound. Probably picture the director. The picture of Real Talk Group, Real Talk building. So if you're on the Carolina Savannah Road, viewers, and you're looking for the Real Talk Group of Company building, you're looking for the Credit Union building, this you're about to see on screen is the building where we are located at number 14 Carolina Savannah Road in Shoguners. So
Real Talk Credit Union store.
This is the opening of the credit union. 2 weeks ago, we opened up to the members or the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who wants to be members. We are at number 14 Carolina Savannah Road. Our phone numbers are 238-6716, 339-1670, or 267-7325. Remember, viewers, our phone number is on screen. You want to be a member? Not a problem. Not a problem. Let me tell you something. I am a prominent businessman in Trinidad and Tobago. I have grown over the years. We have grown from Real Talk Finance and Investment to money lending to Real Talk Credit Union Bank. Real Talk is on its way to reaching the sky. I am building an empire right here in Trinidad and Tobago, a financial empire, to help the citizens of our country to have better interest, low monthly taxes. You know, when you go to a bank or a financial institution, they just tell you your monthly, what's the word for it again? Your service charge. Your service charge in banks. $15, $20, come down to Real Talk Credit Union. Let me tell you something, we have the least amount of service charge and the highest interest rate that is being paid out. Why? Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, what? They comfort me. Who's going to comfort you? Who's going to comfort you? But nevertheless, 4% on fixed deposit at Real Talk Credit Union, from 1.5% to 2% on annual savings. You want to open an account for your kids? Not a problem. You want to open it for the grandmother, the father, the brother, the auntie, the auntie, the daughter. Let me tell you something. Come on down to Real Talk Credit Union on Carolina Savannah Road in Shoguners, and you will see the difference in banking. I am here. Real Talk Credit Union is here for the citizens to have a better savings, a better reward on their money. Where else are you getting it? Where else? And everyone who knows about Saeed, they will tell you Saeed is a man of his word. He is a man of his word. So, nevertheless, as we get ready to start our program tonight, I do thank you for joining in. Like I said, I do apologize for our for not going live on Monday the 21st. There's a rerun of this program tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. viewers. So, attorney representing the Paria Fuel Trading Company Limited and the Land and Marine Construction Service Limited LMCS laid out their respective agreement or argument before a commission of inquiry headed by Chairman Jeremy Lynch, KC. Addressing the commission, Gilbert Peterson, SC, who represented Paria and the Heritage Petroleum Company, gave a summary of the evidence and the witness testimony they will present, referring to the removal of a mechanical and an inflatable plug from the pipeline, which was believed to be what led to the trapping and eventual death of the divers. Peterson stated that Paria was in the dark over their removal as no instructions were given to do so. Listen to this.
Accordingly, it was plainly not in Paria's contemplation and could not, in my respectful view, reasonably be within Paria's contemplation that the mechanical plug and or the inflatable plug was to be removed by LMCS on the 25th of February 2022. No approval to do so had been applied for. No approval to do so had been given under Paria's permits to work system. Put differently, Paria was entirely in the dark as to the intended removal of the mechanical plug and the inflatable plug on that fateful day.
So Trinidad and Tobago, it's 2386716. After hearing that, what do you think? So here it is. Peterson said evidence was disclosed that the tender process from LMCS was directly responsible for an immediate emergency response, and added that LMCS was required to have other diving support equipment in order to facilitate an emergency response. Listen to this.
The evidence will disclose that the tender process envisaged by LMCS as the contractor undertaking the work was directly responsible for any immediate emergency response with appropriate follow-up support from Paria thereafter. To this end, LMCS was required to have, among other things, divers and other diving support equipment to facilitate an emergency response, an effective emergency response.
We will have a discussion. Hold on, hold on. We are going to have a discussion. That lawyer represents Paria. So here it is. He continued that Paria evidence will reveal that LMCS failed to notify Paria of the incident at the time it occurred, and that Paria, upon learning of the incident, actively pursued LMCS for information. Peterson questioned that if LMCS was forthcoming with their information, and now everyone knows the men were in the pipe when the incident occurred, why would everyone be searching out in the sea? Listen to this.
Significantly, Paria's evidence will reveal that LMCS failed to notify Paria of the incident at the time it occurred, and that Paria, upon learning of the incident, actively pursued LMCS for information with a view to providing the support and any resources that it could have deployed. Mr. Chairman, I pause on what I had submitted to say this. When I was listening to Mr. Maraj's presentation this morning, it dawned on me, if LMCS has, as the claim, been forthcoming with information and all knew, now everyone knew that the men were in the pipe when the incident occurred, why would everybody be searching out in the sea? Because there's clear evidence, uncontroverted, uncontradicted, that there was a wide sea search if it was all common knowledge that when the incident occurred that the men were sucked into the pipe, then it would be a mystery to explain why there would have been that extensive search at sea.
Now Trinidad and Tobago. Meanwhile, the attorney representing LMCS, Kamani Maraj, contended that Paria still had a responsibility to provide some supervision to the divers while they worked, and if necessary, stop their work from continuing if become dangerous. From the evidence before the Commission of Inquiry, Maraj states that there would be a demonstration that Paria has in fact utilized its stop work policy at various points in time. Listen this.
The evidence that is before this commission, we would demonstrate that Paria had in fact utilized its stop work policy at various points in time, well, at least on one occasion, and had gone into an investigation of the, this is the incident alluded to by my learned friend in relation to the barge being taken out to berth without having permit. So it is directly demonstrating that incident that Paria has that control mechanism, and they have used it in this contract. And it's not a simple plug that we can just simply pull. These things take process. There is an unbolting process, and it takes some time. And the evidence will demonstrate that when somebody is observing that, they had the moment to say this is work that ought not to be carried out. But no such stop was made at the point in time. It is only upon the second plug being taken out that the incident occurred.
Now, Trinidad and Tobago, we have an ad to run that is paid for by the Realtor Credit Union. But when we come back from this break, there's something I just want to ask, and I want to hear what you would say right after this break.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Realtor Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Realtor Credit Union stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Realtor Group of Companies building at number 14 Carney Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also find us on Facebook at Realtor Credit Union.
Welcome back to Real Talk, viewers. Now remember, viewers, this is a very, very, how should I say, technical piece that is presently taking place in Trinidad and Tobago, where every one of the citizens wants to know the truth that occurred on that day, those 4 divers lost their life. The inquiries is going on. They are before the Commissioner of Inquiries. The truth will come out. Video footage will come out. I am not a judge. I am not a judge. But video footage, when you go to court, the magistrate does want to see evidence. Whether you are guilty or not, they want to see evidence. Hear this, eh? All are we in this together was one of the last plea LMCS diver Christopher Boudram made to his colleagues as he tried to encourage them to climb out of the 30-inch diameter sea line number 36, which they got stuck into during an incident at Paria Fuel Trading Company Point-à-Pied facility on February 25th. However, only Boudram escaped the tragedy ordeal at the offshore facility that day. His colleagues, Faisal Kuban, Yusuf Henry, Kazim Ali Jr., and Rishi Nagasa died in the pipeline hours later. The video and audio of the men's last moment were played for those present or who watched the Commissioner of Inquiries into the LMCS Paria diving tragedy yesterday. On recording, or the recording believed to be Boudram's last moments with his fallen colleagues, was aired publicly for the first time. The moans of Nagasar, as he unable to speak inside the pipeline, and Henry trying to remain unbeat despite a broken limb, left many at the International Waterfront Center in Port of Spain with disturbed expression on their face. Within seconds, the footage went dark, and there was a frightening sound of a vortex. After seconds, there were distress calls among the divers. Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago. Let me tell you something. This incident that took place, it is a tragedy that rocked the citizens of our country. It rocked the citizens of our country. So listen to this. Christopher Boudram, the lone survivor of the Paria diving tragedy, credits his deceased colleagues for directing him out of the pipeline he had been stuck into on February 25th. Boudram, who was the first witness to give evidence in the Commission of Inquiries into the tragedy on Tuesday morning, said he was in fight for flight mode as he tried to get out of the pipe. During conversation with Faisal Kuban, Kazim Ali Jr., and Yusuf Henry in the immediate aftermath of the incident, Boudram states that he was told that they had been sucked into the pipe feet first. This information allowed him to move forward instead of moving backward, and eventually led him out of the pipe. In giving his evidence, Boudram broke down several times, saying the detail of that fateful day coming to haunt him. He said, "I failed them," he cried. Listen to this.
I always somebody who doesn't know what's going on, and I was always somebody who could control and see things through, and I feel like I tell her how it's coming back when I feel like.
Budram said, Budram and the other 3 men, formed a human chain and were making their way slowly along the pipe. However, he said several parts of the pipe were flooded, and he eventually decided to leave Kuban, Ali Jr. and Henry behind to try to get help.
I feel like if I could have give up when I reach up there and I see nobody inside it. None of my, I would call them family, was inside there waiting for me. Andrew, Dexter, no rescue diver, nobody was inside that chamber. I don't know that. When I see that, I wasn't sure if I was living still. Because it was so unbelievable to know this happened and nobody here to assist me, nobody. I didn't see nobody inside the pipe trying to rescue me. Nothing. Because everything inside me open and rescue me. Everything inside me open and rescue was going on. Nobody was making an attempt to rescue me.
It is a sad day for Trinidad and Tobago. Budram added that Ali Jr. begged him to stay with him or stay with them, but he could not. He wept as he recalled getting to the top of the pipeline and not finding any rescue or waiting for him. As he was rescued, he told persons that his colleagues were still alive in the pipeline. Budram broke down again as he recalled being taken to the San Fernando General Hospital. He said there was no preparation for his arrival. What are you going to say now? What are they going to say now? The lone survivor of that incident allegedly said there was no preparation for his arrival. So nobody had made a phone call. Where were the safety officials? Somebody say something. Where was the safety officials? Big company, no safety officials. You start bad. But hold on, we are judging. Hold on. He said he was placed in a room with other patients who had COVID-19. And was hurt that no one from Paria had called his wife to alert her that there had been an accident. We going on? We going on? Let me tell you something. It is a sad day for Trinidad and Tobago. Very, very sad day. So we are going for a short commercial break, but we'll be right back after this.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Group of Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Realtor Group of Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas, or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
Realtalk Credit Union stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Realtalk Group of Companies building at number 14 Coroni Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also find us on Facebook at Realtalk Credit Union.
So Trinidad and Tobago, as the Commissioner of Inquiries continue, we're going to bring you updates on a daily basis until the end of the Commissioner of Inquiries. We're going to bring all the details to you. Every piece of details, we're going to bring it to you. Caller, good night.
Saeed, good night.
Go right ahead.
Saeed, this is a sad day in paradise. Saeed, everybody pointing fingers. But that day is going to come. They have families. They have children. They have grandchildren. And we feel when we're sitting on that throne with all the gold and silver and all the money that will take us to heaven, it would never take you to heaven if your soul ain't ready for heaven. If you ain't do the right thing to human beings. Oh my God, these are human beings in that side. That from that day that happened to those children, I call them children because they could have been my children. Right, Saeed? I could be their mother. And knowing my son down there, and one survivor, only listen to that man, from the chairman, go right down. What they say, from the captain to the cook, should be in jail until that commission of inquiry finish. What these people doing outside, living it up, Saeed, have housewarming, Saeed, eating and drinking of the best, and these young men, family, suffering. Look at the time they call a commission. Look how long these boys died down there. Nobody have a heart in this country. Everything went on as normal, Saeed. Did you observe? All the shows, all the everything. Nobody rushed to take care of these young men deceased, their family. And this lone survivor, Saeed, I am still praying for him that he will have a peace of mind, Saeed, because nobody would like to live with that on their conscience. He has a conscience. He has a heart. He is a human being. But these others that were in charge, even the government side, nobody from the government went to speak to these families. How these children surviving? Even in the House of Representatives, even in Parliament side, when they bring up topics, the Speaker of the House saying it's not important. What is important to these people? Money, the high life, the big society. We have to die and leave all that. And when we die, we rot and smell. And we have to either go down in a hole or they burn us. And we have nothing because we can't hug up nothing to go with Saeed. And all they don't care about other people. This young man who is suffering mentally, physically, I don't know how he would make it, how long he's going to live with this on his conscience. to know he came outside and he's a main witness. And it have lawyers still trying to contradict what he's saying. Where these people come from, Saieed? They have families, they have children, they have wives, they have grandchildren. Come on, man, where's the love? Where's the love, Saieed?
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. We're going on to a little health news now. Minister of Health Terence Diating has stated that thousands of persons are electing to take the influenza jab this year, despite there have been 5 fatalities recorded. Diating states that to date 15,913 doses have been delivered in comparison to last year's seasons of 26,000 doses were delivered. Listen to Diating.
To date, we have delivered 15,913 doses. In comparison to last year's season, where we delivered 26,000 doses, we have delivered more than 50% of last year's total in only 3 weeks.
October to May is considered to be influenza season in the northern hemisphere. Dayal Singh said these higher than usual numbers may be a good sign since they indicate that population is not vaccination wary. Despite this, he said the vaccination rate in vulnerable population is not at a level where it should be. Dayal Singh notes that these women fear that the vaccine will harm them, their unborn child, and nothing is further from the truth. Listen to Dayal Singh.
This year we have only done 136 pregnant women. It's a challenge every year to get pregnant women to be vaccinated because they fear that the vaccine will harm them, their unborn child, and nothing is further from the truth.
Now Dayal Singh, to be honest with you, you see, after this COVID-19 period, with you being the health minister in Trinidad and Tobago, coming out and making your media briefing, when you say A, the people is seeing B. And apparently, they lost trust in you. Being the health minister of health in Trinidad and Tobago, I lost trust in you. I lost trust in you. Because to this day, you cannot bring forth a report of the Davis home to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Call her good night.
Like you read my mind, what y'all saying. But say what I recall about it, this commissioner requiring to the pirate accident with the divers lost their life. What I want to know, Said, after all this commission is complete, when all these lawyers receive all the big hefty money for the services, who is going to be held accountable for this incident that caused 4 men to lose his life and have one survivor more or less traumatized? Because as the caller said, he has to live with it the rest of his life. That 4 lose their life, knowing that he was there dealing with them, talking to them, giving them the assurance that he'll be back to help save them, and then this never happened and these guys die. I want to know who will be held accountable after all the big money spent and everybody collect their own. Who will be held accountable and who's going to see about these men family? Thank you, Said.
Thank you, my friend. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley has called on persons to stop protecting and covering up for their relatives who are criminals, particularly in murder. Saying crime, especially murder, is at an unacceptable high level. Dr. Rowley states that national security is a high priority for the government. He questioned, where do these murders or murderers come from? Who are they? Where do they live? I will pause right here. Where do they live? Didn't our former Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago, Saieed Ali, told us of how many gangs there are in Trinidad? How many gang members are there in Trinidad? Didn't he do that? Okay. He did that. So here it is. If the Prime Minister could come out and say, where do they live? Okay. Faris, former Attorney General, identified a numerous amount of gangs. So, to identify a gang, you have to know where the gang from. That's the start with. To know how many members in a gang, you actually have to know the gang leader. Who is the leader of the gang? So let's just say this. Saieed lives in Shogunas. Saieed is a gang member. What? Saieed is the leader of a gang. What? How did you know that? Then you will have to know where Saieed lives. If I'm talking nonsense, I'll tell me, you know. You will have to know where Saieed lives in order to know Saieed is a gang member, in order to know Saieed is the leader of a gang. Come on, people, common sense is the simplest thing they have on the face of the earth. So the Prime Minister, the head of the Security Council for Trinidad and Tobago, wants to know, where do they live? Well, to be honest with you, his former Attorney General could have identified gangs in Trinidad and Tobago, could have identified how many gang members are in gangs. Come on, Dr. Kid-Rowley. When you have doctor added to your name, you become very intelligent. What does doctor say to you? All of a sudden you want to know where the gang member lives? Who are you trying to fool with your statement? These citizens of this country? The PM added that the TTPS and the government can only do so much, but there is a lot to be done by the families who are covering up for the gunmen. Listen to this.
Where do these murderers come from? Who are they? Where do they live? Are they part of your family? Are you withholding information from the police? Do you know who have the guns and they use them at will upon whom they choose? What do you know that you keep a secret? The police can do so much. The defense force can do so much. The government can do so much. But there's a lot to be done by the families who are covering up for these gunmen, covering up for these murderers, because if you're a murderer, you are going to be killing people, and that is what is going on in this country.
Faris knew how many gangs there were in Trinidad and Tobago. Faris knew how many gang members there were in Trinidad and Tobago. So knowing the gangs, they will have to know where the gang from. And then when you know where the gang from, TTPS will start getting information of, hey, you know, John no living, so he's a gang member inside gang. Ooh, who tell you to say that? Saieed, I have no gang, eh? The only gang I have is a gang I spirit wrong me. That's the only gang I have is a gang I spirit wrong me. So here it is. He also states that the public officials also make it very difficult for the government to fight crime. He said some of the culprits work in custom and exercise division. Ooh, listen to this.
It's not just the gunmen, you know. There are public officials in this country that make it very difficult for us to fight the guns, you know. Some of them in customs, some of them, imagine, I'm going to tell you this now, Owens Lee. There's one particular job that's available right now. very important job. The officer is going to retire, and the next officer is too. And people don't want the job because junior officers who are facilitating the passage of illegal goods are threatening people. Even before they go into the job, they're being threatened. And the cabinet has absolutely no control over them because in our constitution, they are the subject of the police, of the Public Service Commission, over which the cabinet has absolutely no control. You can do nothing about it unless, of course, one or two matters end up before the court and a judge may or may not rule in the government's favor. Those are problems that this country is facing, whether I'm in office or out of office. Those are difficulties that you need to ponder upon.
And that is our Prime Minister. Caller, good night. Hello?
Yes, Said.
Go right ahead.
Said, I want to find out, the Minister of Health, is he into manufacturing of vaccines? How does he know the fears that the pregnant women have? How he knows further from the truth that it won't affect the fetus? He can't determine that. And
Thank
then
you, my friend. Well
the next thing said about the pipeline and that scenario, I yet to understand how these guys could be sucked in naturally if they went to do a job. What was the job they went in there to do? I mean, all these bits of information, I want to know exactly what it was in order for I to understand and formulate an answer. Because to me, it's very simple, you know. It's very, very simple. All right, Saeed, thanks.
Thank you, my friend. Minister of Public Utilities Marvin Gonzalez have stated that even if the Minister of National Security is replaced, all I hear is the crap, hear this nonsense coming from Marvin. Hey, let me tell you something. Sometimes those in power, when they have nothing to say, suck as salt prunes. When they have nothing to say to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that will cause embarrassment to come on themselves, look for a parlor, look for a grocery, look for a side the road shop, buy a salt prunes and suck it. Minister of Public Utilities Marvin Gonzalez have stated that even though if the Minister of National Security is replaced, the crime situation would be the same. Marvin, answer this question. When former Commissioner of Police Gary Griffith was running TTPS in Trinidad and Tobago, tell me something, Marvin, about the crime situation in our country. You want to bump your gum? That is something to bump your gum on. He said, if we change the Commissioner of Police, it is going to change the crime situation. Certainly not, he said. We have to look at the root cause. Marvin, I, Saieed Ali, telling you on national television as I go live with my program for the world to see. If you have nothing good to say, to educate the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago that you dwells in and conduct business in, suck a salt prunes. When Gary Griffith was there, the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago changed. Who we have as the acting commissioner, the acting commissioner? Who do we have? What's his name? Who's the acting commissioner of police? Trinidad and Tobago. It is a bloody hell shame that this minister could come out and make such statement. It is a disgrace. Stinking disgrace. This, as Gonzalez was questioned for his views on the country crime situation, the minister states that in solving the crime situation in this country, there is need to return to fundamentals of society. What is fundamentals, Marvin? What fundamentals are you going back to? Pitching marble? You want to go back to coal pots? You want to ride bicycle like in China? We in Trinidad. You should go back to your drawing book and try to fix utilities in Trinidad and Tobago. That is what you need. Caller, good night.
Yes, sir. Good night.
My friend, go right ahead. I can barely hear you.
Yeah, good night, sir. Yeah, no. Right. If you remove Fitzgerald and McDonald Jacob, immediately you're going to see a positive change in this crime situation. Immediately. So when Marvin Gonzalez trying to say this side, all the positive changes he's making in Wassa, if they get rid of Marvin Gonzalez, it's going to be the same thing. If they bring somebody else, it's going to be the same way then. Whether he's there or not, it's going to run the same way. Because it comes like the same thing he's saying, whether he is there or not, it's going to run the same way. If Fitzgerald Hines in Ministry of National Security or not, it's going to run the same way. But I want to touch on two quick points, side.
Talk to me.
The divers, this whole situation with the divers, right? Everybody knows in every job you're doing, if whether in industry or not, accidents just happen, side. It is Paria's fault that they didn't allow the men in them to go and rescue the four divers, side. Because they say that they was blocked by Coast Guard and other people from the company, bar them from going to save the men in them. So Paria now have to compensate them families. And let me tell you something, they can't compensate them for life on the side.
True.
But I hope that these people break Paria back over there to them, because you see them four men side, they leave them men to dead in that pipeline. And my last point, right? I was watching the newspaper on Monday, where Keith Rowley was saying that Jack Warner shamed Trinidad and Tobago. Right, I don't know if you see that headline in the Guardian Monday. Right. I want to tell Keith Rowley something, right? Whatever Jack Warner did in FIFA, that is his personal business. That has nothing to do with anybody in Trinidad and Tobago.
Well said.
Whatever the man do, that is his personal business. And I want to let you know something, that the little bit of time Jack Warner was a minister and an MP for Shogunas West, he do more for them people in Shogunas West here than Keith Rowley ever do in his whole political life in Diego Martin. And I want to understand that Jack Warner could come down in Shogunas West side and sit down in anybody's house and them will give him a plate of food to eat and something to drink. Ask Keith Rowley if he could do that. Ask Keith Rowley if he could come out of the PNM and go and try to win an independent election as an independent candidate in the election. Jack Warner was the only man in history that ever do that, and he was in Shogunas West. Keith Rowley, try and do that now. You enjoy your night side.
Thank you, my friend. So we are going for a short commercial break, viewers, but when we come back, we're going to talk about TTPS to intensify operation to reduce crime in Trinidad and Tobago.
Real Talk Credit Union stores are now open to members of the public. We are located at the Real Talk Group of Companies building at number 14 Coroni Savannah Main Road. Opening hours are from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Contact us via telephone at 238-6716 or 231-6219 to book your appointment. You can also find us on Facebook at Real Talk Credit Union.
Tired of wasting precious time at the bank applying for a loan, only to be denied? We understand your frustration. Here at Real Talk Report Companies, we take a different approach. Contact Saieed, Managing Director of Real Talk Report Companies and licensed moneylender at 238-6716, 242-7690 or 339-1670. Feel free to visit our office at number 14 Carney Savannah Road, Chaguanas or number 132 Superior Road, Victoria Village, San Fernando.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I know I promised earlier, TTPS to intensify operation to reduce crime. But we're going to something more hotter than that. There are now revelations that the company paid by former People's National Movement Control Tobago House of Assembly, THA, to carry out a $2.5 million zipline project in Tobago does not exist. Let's talk now. Where the company, where $2.5 million, where the zipline? Let's say something. When I ask, who is the company? Where the money? Where the land? Nobody can say nothing. Everybody zip them out. When I start making demands, I get phone calls, Saieed, don't say nothing. Saieed, stop that. Saieed, don't tread down that road. Well, I'm going down the road again. You could stop this mouth from talking. It's like you stopping the sun from rising. I just always say that, you know. I just always say that, you know, as a man without fear, you know. Hear this. In 2015, the Division of Tourism and Transportation, led by the then Secretary Tracy Davison Celestine, announced that a 1.5 kilometer zipline project, but it was never completed. She announced it, but it was never completed. The issue was a hot button one in January 2021. The THA campaign, election campaign, and Davison Celestine, and the then Progressive Democratic Patriot PDP political leader, Farley Augustine, verbally squared off for weeks over the matter. The THA Secretary, Farley Augustine, states that the former PNM administration had initiated a court matter concerning the zipline project. He said when he took office, his executive did not interfere with the proceeding and even left the attorneys hired by the PNM. On November 12, 2020, the Auditor General Department wrote a letter to the THA Chief Administrator regarding the issues surrounding the proposed zipline course at the main ridge in Tobago. Here it is. In that letter, the Auditor General noted that no approval was presented from the THA's Executive Council for the establishment of the facility. It explained that a total of $2 million, $500,000 and $11,210 was paid for material and equipment. However, the existence of the asset was not verified in March 2021 following the election. Davison Celestine was reported as saying the project went through all of the different channels in a very, very transparent way. So tonight now, who is the company that got $2.5 million to start this project? In 2015, we are in 2022, and up to now they cannot see where the material went. They cannot see a line. They cannot see an iron post. They cannot see the material. Where did $2.5 million go? Somebody say something. This is why I like to say now, somebody touch me. Somebody touch me. Somebody touch my soul. Like I love to hear the bird whistling now. Doodly 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 doo doo doo. When that bird started whistling, side airs, S's they start coming out. People they start running and ducking, and side don't call my name, and side don't mention that. Let me tell you something. Run, but you cannot hide. Who is the owner of that company that got the project to set up the zip line in Tobago? And where is $2.5 million gone? Well, come out and say something. Come out and say something, because that $2.5 million is tax-paying citizen money. Who ordered the zipline project to this company that is not in existence? Who authorized? Who authorized that check? Let's say something. Somebody touch me. Let's say something now. Where did $2.5 million go in Tobago? Who authorized that check? Who was the signatory on that check? Let's come say something. I want to hear birds of a feather flock together. Doodly 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 doo doo doo. So I'm waiting to see now who coming out to say, hey, it wasn't me, it was John. And I want to hear John come out now and say, hey, it wasn't me, it was John Doe. And let's say something. When I raise the issue, I get numerous calls. Saeed, do not touch that, we will deal with you. Look me here. Look me on national television. And I raise it again. Let's say something. All you say something. Look right here. Look right here. Who authorized the 2.5? Whose name signed? All of you know something? All of you have a secret? Who is the owner of that company that got $2.5 million and that company do not exist? So Tobagonians, only have $2.5 million to get back. Go to the THA and ask who signed for $2.5 million to be released to a ghost company. We just talk about CPEP and the ghost gang. Who is that ghost company? Let me tell you something. Right now I could do it 2.5 million, you know. I could do it 2.5 million. And I turned in a ghost one time. I turned in a ghost one time. But nevertheless, we are out of time for tonight. There's a rerun of this program tomorrow from 11:30 to 12:30 viewers, and we'll be right back here on Wednesday night for our Public Concerns Night. Until we meet again, good night.